So we're going to talk about artificial wombs. Now, hold on, guys. Hear me out. All right. So how do artificial wombs change the perspective on consent between men and women? All right. So the first thing we're going to go over is reproductive roles. Historically, women have carried the primary physical burden of reproduction, while men have not had the same level of physical involvement, which is true. Impact of artificial wombs from the woman's perspective, it would alleviate physical burdens and health risks associated with pregnancy, offering more and reproductive autonomy. But what it also does is it makes abortion obsolete.
It's that's actually the last thing you said. I've gotten a lot of pushback at Timcast about that. I think that's going to be what finally solves the abortion issue is artificial wombs. Now it's going to open up a whole other door, a whole other can of worms in terms of like, are you a government child or are you like an actual child? You know, what kind of American are you? Are you one born in America? You know, the government lab in one of those artificial wombs, or were you conceived naturally? You know, and brought to term naturally. So it's going to cause some interesting like societal implications, but I think it will solve the problem because if they can take you know the fetus out really early rather than taking pills or anything, and it's all on the government dime. And then they put it into this weird dystopian tube and they grow it or a bag, whatever the womb is, if it's
Test
a
womb,
plastic bag or a tube. Yeah,
test womb, baby.
right? Like the government's gonna do that because you know what? That's I mean, politically, it's easy. It solves a huge issue. It also creates a new workforce and fighting force, right? There's many issues the government would want to do this, and I think we'll see. We're not there yet, but we're getting damn close.
Exactly. Exactly. So now, if we're going to talk, let's go a little bit deeper into that whole government theory. What are the implications of government taking custody of embryos that have no say on their future life? God forbid that they're not adopted or whatnot. Do they put them in cages? I mean, is it going to be like the movie The Island, where
I,
you know?
I know what's going to happen to these government embryos.
I,
All right.
I just thought about it. I think you're about to say it. I want you to say it first, though.
Okay. So what I think it's going to do is, so Elon, he's age 60 or 70. He gets a new contract from the government, right? He's going to have to fly the first large scale human colony to Mars, right? We've been to Mars, we've had the first footsteps on Mars, but now it's time for a good 1,000 people to go there, right? Who are they going to send? You're going to send the government embryos because as it takes, what is it, 3 years, 4 years to Mars, all that time it takes to get there, well, these embryos are slowly growing in the tubes, and then you're going to have caretakers already on the ground, and then you're going to raise Martians, and you basically have an unlimited supply of trial and error over on another planet. And I think that's going to be one of the first. That's what we're going to do with them. And if it's not that, we're going to put them in Ukraine,
Yeah.
right? So
It might as well be Mars. I mean, I was
yeah,
I was going to say organ harvesting, but I need to find my peace with
that's
God.
actually, yeah. I don't think they'll need to though. That's the thing. Dude, have you ever seen the mouse where they grow a human ear on the mouse?
Yes, and it's weird,
Yeah, they don't need to
really weird.
waste the energy, waste the time to grow a whole human when you can just grow the specific organ.
I could use
I
just
like that.
growing a beard. Like that would be nice.
No,
I don't.
you don't
People
want
think
it, bro.
they think that
Dude,
this is how no, this is what God gave me. That's it. I'm
You
grateful
don't do
for
the you
that.
don't do the vampire facials like Kim Kardashian.
I am a vampire. Okay, this is why I look like this.
Okay.
Oh, my producer in the background's like, yeah, I can't grow a beard to save my life.
That's why his name is Treebeard.
Dude,
It's like the
Yes.
guy from Z. He's like the one guy from ZZ Top, the drummer he doesn't have a beard. Everyone else is just like, there he
Oh
is.
shit!
There he is.
Hey, how's it going, lads and ladies? As you can see, I cannot grow a beard.
That's funny.
Let's go.
we make jokes about it, but man, we that report just came out. We've got all kinds of plastic inside of our family jewels. So it's like this is how it kind of like comes to the surface. Is at first it's our generation, right? It's us group of guys that have trouble growing a beard. 20 years from now, they can't grow hair on their head because of all the plastics and shit diets that we're exposed to. Not to get too serious there,
No,
but
no, you're good. You're good. But I guess to close this out, encouraging listeners to think critically about the futuristic scenarios and importance of ethical considerations in technological advancements. Um,
do you guys
Scrap.
support the artificial wombs?
I don't.
No,
I mean,
I,
here's the thing.
I do.
Here's what. Here's one way. The only way I would support them is if say mother cannot carry. She's got a condition where her blood type and her baby's blood type do not gel. That was my mom. Okay. So it's one of those things where this is a tool that can be used to save more lives. I am not for this being used so that way people can go out and wreck their bodies and we just have babies being born in test tubes. I'm not about that. If we can do artificial wombs in such a way that they are facilitating actual needs where people are being responsible, I'm cool with that. I'm not cool with, the other thing. We're already dealing with that with abortion as contraception.
Yeah.
That's the big problem there. And once you can grow babies in test tubes completely, now you're talking. And I'm sure there's somebody somewhere in some, Area 57 level, all the way down in a bunker in the bottom of the ocean that's got something they're trying to do, right? Let's just be honest, China's already working all kinds of stuff. Like,
I'm pretty sure.
And I'm sure our government's doing it. I'm sure everybody's government's doing it if they've got anybody with black project money, right? It's not cool. There's always, and I'm real about this, there's always two sides to tech. There's a way to use it correctly and to do well for humanity, and I'm all about that. And then there's this way of using it to have an easy out or to do something nefarious. So
Unfortunately, I don't think we get that choice though. It's either we have the tech or we don't. I don't think we get to really decide.
Mm-hmm. I'm not saying I don't want them to exist. An artificial womb is great. It's just another evolution of the incubators when little preemies are born and they have to be inside of it. It's just no different in my book. It should exist. I'm not saying it shouldn't exist. I'm saying we shouldn't use it as an out for like how they do abortion, right? It's better, because we can save it, but at the same time, it's like, come on.